she had to seek stuff about that, but I don't know if that was to do with going to the gym a lot and using stuff a lot or something. But yeah, I think that was last year, but yeah. So yeah.
Mm. Let's get into a controversial topic about the gym. Steroids or testosterone.
Oh yeah,
What
that
are your thoughts on that?
well, you see, like I get the fact that people wanna like build up muscle just like organically and not use steroids because it
Mm.
because it shows you that like you've actually put work and time into this instead of like taking steroids and then you just are muscly without trying, if you know what I mean. But to be honest with you, I I have never taken steroids, so like for anyone
Yeah.
watching this, I don't I you shouldn't like take like what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't take it like seriously because I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm not like very sure about steroids, but I've heard that it just like you just use steroids to not naturally build up any muscle. But what is your thoughts?
Well, there are different types of steroids, but they're mostly the same because they're a family of compounds that are similar to testosterone. And that's unnaturally supplementing your testosterone supply in your body, and so that spikes. And that spike in testosterone, basically over the years, we've gone like.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show, coming at you live on Friday night. Tonight's your host, James May.
Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show. Tonight we have a very special guest, but before he can speak, tonight's episode is about music and working out, and we're thinking of doing 30 minutes of either working out or 30 minutes of either music. So, without further ado, the special guest is Ethan. Go ahead.
Hi.
So Ethan has he's my friend from school, and
Yep.
and he's very into music and working out. So let's start with so how did you get into working out, and why is it like one of your passions now?
Well, there was a bodybuilder back in, say, 2011, early 2010s, late 2000s. His name was Ziz, and believe it or not, generically, he's what got me into weightlifting and stuff because of an edit I saw on Instagram. And I just decided that one day I'm going to start doing it, and I haven't stopped since.
Interesting. So what kind of workouts do you actually do?
Uh, well, I do free weights, so I don't really do calisthenics. Mainly because I'm not very good at, I guess, bodyweight exercises, and I'm better at free weights. And so that includes more stuff like a deadlift or a bench press rather than something like push-ups or pull-ups or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've done some workouts before, but I'm not like as active as you, because you've told me that you go to the gym a lot. Is that right?
Yeah, just about every day. I missed yesterday though because my dad didn't want to take me.
Oh yeah. When did you start going to the gym?
Well, I started working out on December 13th, 2021, and I started actually going to the gym June 3rd ish this year.
Oh yeah. So just over a month, almost 2 months.
Hmm?
Just over a month, almost 2 months since you've been going to the gym.
Yeah, 2 months since I've been going to the gym almost, and about uh almost a year still a good 5 months away from a year.
Yeah, just almost about 5 months. Yeah.
Mm.
The type of workouts that I like would do usually, like, I just do it occasionally, but I just do like your stereotypical like dumbbells, kettlebells, and like punching the bag and stuff like that. It's just like your basic stuff. It's not like anything too extreme, if you know what I mean. It's just like usual stuff you do when you work out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, when when people say extreme, because most places take it like really to the like unnecessarily, because the essential part of working out is to damage your muscle fibers and then recover so that they grow bigger, and that's bodybuilding. And to get big muscles, you progressively overload. So that basically means that every week, let's say you're lifting a 10 kilogram weight, 12 reps, 3 sets, whatever. The next week you're gonna do uh, 11 kilograms for 9 reps, and the next week you do it 12 reps again, go up another kilogram or two, however much you feel like. Um, but most places really take it to like CrossFit, because they're trying to do it functionality, and that doesn't always work because it's not really good for muscle building. If you're doing stuff like butterfly pull-ups, because essentially there's no tension on the muscle. It's pretty much all momentum. You know?
Yeah, but what I was meaning was like I don't lift those like big weights that you have to use like your upper body strength with and stuff like that. So that's what I was meaning with extreme, but it's
Oh,
not.
like barbells.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily extreme. It's just the stuff that I'm not able to do, if you know what I mean. It's just like
Yeah.
kind of feels extreme for me to do, but it's not extreme for everyone. So yeah. Uh, what?
Uh,
Uh,
most people are like naturally pretty strong. I sorta,
yeah.
because I mean this might have just been me because I was like super fat, and that does build quite a bit of muscle being fat and then not fat anymore. Uh, in the 2 months I've been in the gym, I've been able to get 100 kilograms on a deadlift. So I mean, there's that, and that's pretty basic. It's it's not bad or anything. It's just very basic.
Yeah.
First milestone.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was trying to say. I wasn't. I mean, it was like extreme, but it's just something I'm not able to do. Because like
Mm.
sometimes sometimes the human body isn't capable of doing certain things. So that's probably why I was trying to say it that way. So,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I've not actually been the strongest person ever. Like, I'm not like the type of person who's able to get into a fight and win it, because I've never necessarily needed to get into a fight, but I definitely know that I would get beaten up and stuff like that. So like my strength wouldn't be the best. I mean, sure, there's been a time when I was kicked in the leg, but just not like brutally damaged or anything like that. So yeah, that's sort of why I'm not really strong. What about you? Have you gotten stronger since working out?
Yeah. I'd like to say, because I struggled with like 80 kilograms at some point. That's 20 kilograms more, deadlift wise. And I used to be like hardly able to lift 7 kilograms. Now I'm 10, going on to 12 kilograms for like uh, dumbbell reps. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could lift 12 kilogram weights, to be honest.
Mm.
Yeah. The highest, I think the highest is probably like 6 or something for me. Maybe something like that. So like not like too much.
When I first started working out, I so you know those those little rubber weights where it's like a kilogram and a half.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to do like 30 reps, 5 sets of 30 reps with those, and I didn't think that you had to do less reps and less sets with more weight you did. So back in February or late January, I don't remember when, but I tried lifting a weight, but it was too many reps, so that put a lot of stress on my body, and it kind of hurt my forearm for a bit. Luckily, I've worked my way out of that somehow. Uh, but it was a bit hard to do stuff like bench press with forearm injury at home because I didn't have a bench. I had the floor. You know?
Yeah, I think you told me that story before. Like, you told me like you had a forearm injury at one time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I've ever had a forearm injury, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I can rest assured that it's not the best, is it?
No, not really.
Yeah, I expect it to not be the best. Yeah,
I mean, at least it's not as bad as something as like a shoulder injury, because then I can't really do any arm workouts at all.
yeah, yeah. I get what
Very
you're
light
saying.
ones.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying there. My family is actually like sort of into exercising, if I'm being honest. Like, not all of them, but my two sisters, like my oldest sisters, they they got into exercising because like my oldest sister Laura got is the one that kind of like got into exercising before all of us. So like she goes to the gym often, and she's like I've seen her like post updates of how she's going and everything, and it's pretty good. And my sister Jodie as well, she got into it as well just to get get something to do, I guess. Is
Yeah,
yeah.
it's always a good use of productivity to go to the gym, because not only are you improving your overall health, but you're also improving your uh, body image, your physical appearance to an extent, and that might help you feel better about yourself, down about your body like I was.
Yeah. And my dad exercises as well. He does like there's this one thing he does where he pulls these things like and he pulls them up and down. He does that, and then there's like that the leg thing that you sit on and you put these things around your legs and you just try to pull your legs back and forth, if you know what I mean. That's another one he does. And then
Like a machine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sort of like that, just to get like adrenaline pumping and stuff like that. So that
Yeah, that's another good use for the gym.
yeah, well, to be honest, he does it like in the garage of my house. So he just he does workouts. That he also does he lifts the big weight as well. So he doesn't do exercising a lot, but yeah, yeah, I guess like he
Yeah.
sort of encouraged me to do it as well. So because I've actually done the arm pulling stuff and the uh things you do back and forth with your legs before. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's like sort of taught me how to do it. Uh, what about you? Does your dad do that with
Uh,
you?
well, like back when I was living in Auckland, my dad, because he's in the army, they sold some of the broken equipment to him to fix up, and he got a rowing machine. And I used to just sit there for like half an hour and just row for a bit, and I stopped doing that. Um, we also had a treadmill. I don't know where that went. Um, what else? My sister bought like a biking machine, sort of. It's got pedals, and you just ride. You sit there. It's a stationary bike. That kind of defeats the purpose of a bike, but I guess it's you know exercise is all the same, no matter where you go. Um, I'm pretty sure she sold that as well to like buy a sofa or something. I don't know. They always sell it, and then when my big obsession with the gym came this year, and I always wanted to like get on machines and stuff. I was like, oh, can I have this machine? Where did it go? I'd go into the garage, and it's just gone. It's just not there.
Mm. You mentioned treadmills. My dad actually had a treadmill in his room in the house I'm living in just now, and I think he rented it for like a month or something. I think that was last year or the year before, but he tried to find something to do, because I think that was in like 2020 when we moved. So like he tried to find something to do. I mean, we were already out of the first lockdown, I think by May, or I could be wrong, but it was a long time ago. But yeah, he found something to do by using a treadmill and stuff like that. And plus, actually, you mentioned forearm, right? You mentioned a forearm. Well, there was actually this one time when my dad actually tried to get into my like in my old house, right? He was like drunk, like he was his red face was red, and he tried to get into the house because I don't think he had a key, and he was climbing up the side of the house, and it was like on a window, and then he fell on his back. So like he had to have so like that injured his arm, right, or his upper shoulder body thing, whatever, and so he had to use that treadmill to actually help it. But I guess like and this, he still used it as something for him to just something productive for him to do, but it was very productive for his arm, and he had to seek someone about it as well, obviously. So yeah, that's sort of what my dad did. So yeah.
Building on that, um, when people get injured a lot, like with well, I guess injuries in general, they tend to just let it rest and recover, sort of. But that's not always the best course of action. I'd say let it recover for the first maybe week or something. I'm not an expert, don't quote me on that. But you're meant to let it rest to recover properly. But then it's gonna take a while to recover, so you're gonna have to start going beyond its range of motion, because if it's stuck in a very smaller one than you had originally, you're gonna have to get back to the original range of motion. So let's say my shoulder, my shoulder hurts and I can't raise 90 degrees um, because I had an injury. Let's say instead of just sitting there and waiting for it to stop hurting, what I'm gonna want to do usually is to start, I guess, going slightly above and sort of stretching it, so it's like training your arm, you know,
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
training
true.
your arm to get used to going that far instead of just being stuck in that range of motion forever. It's like that flea experiment where they put a bunch of fleas in a jar and put a lid on it, and so that's how you train the fleas, because they never went above that lid, and their offspring and just everyone in their bloodline, all those fleas could never jump higher than that lid. Those are voice crack.
It's all right. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Cause like you gotta
Yeah.
do, yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do a lot so you can um get back to your normal form. So yeah, I
Mm.
mean, my dad has had a lot of injuries in his life. So like him having this sore arm and stuff like that wasn't anything new. And I think my oldest sister Laura actually had an injury as well with her arm. So like she had to seek stuff about that, but I don't know if that was to do with going to the gym a lot and using stuff a lot or something. But yeah, I think that was last year. But yeah, so yeah.
Mm. Let's get into a controversial topic about the gym. Steroids or testosterone.
Oh yeah,
What
that.
are your thoughts on that?
Well, you see, like I get the fact that people wanna like build up muscle just like organically and not use steroids, because it
Mm.
because it shows you that like you've actually put work and time into this, instead of like taking steroids and then you just are muscly without trying, if you know what I mean. But to be honest with you, I I have never taken steroids, so like for anyone
Yeah,
watching
me.
this, I don't I you shouldn't like take like what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't take it like seriously because I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm not like very sure about steroids, but I've heard that it just like you just use steroids to not naturally build up any muscle. But what is your thoughts?
Well, there are different types of steroids, but they're mostly the same because they're a family of compounds that are similar to testosterone. And that's unnaturally supplementing your testosterone supply in your body, and so that spikes. And that spike in testosterone, basically over the years, we've gone like 1% of testosterone less each year, um, in males, but spiking that testosterone will help you get more masculine traits like a higher libido, maybe a bit angrier, more emotional, etc. And of course, like you said, building muscle.
Yeah,
But it's not necessarily just inject and you build the muscle automatically. You still have to go to the gym. It's just you build it easier than if you're like natty, which is gym slang for natural, meaning no testosterone or no steroids, I guess. Um, and so there's two different categories. There's a popular trend in the gym community of natty or not, and so they pick bodybuilders and they decide, is this person, do they look like they've hopped on gear, juice? Do they look unnatural, or do they look like they have an attainable physique that you could get without taking any type of testosterone? Um, and that's a whole thing in its own right. But personally, I wouldn't take testosterone unless I was like really desperate. But if I have any advice for anyone that's thinking of taking testosterone right now, as a gym, like for the gym, I'd say keep your natty card for as long as possible. Try to get your testosterone levels up naturally, which is like eating whole foods, getting proper sleep, going outside, talking to attractive people. That's an actual thing. You can raise your testosterone just by talking to someone you're attracted to for like 5 minutes, and be confident because confidence is always most situations. Uh, like you said about the fight, you wouldn't want to fight. You don't
yeah,
necessarily need a lot of muscle. You just need confidence. You need confidence to, let's say, avoid a fight, right? And
yeah.
so that's what you should always do. If you're about to get into a fight, you should try avoiding it. Um, I've gone on a tangent, haven't I?
Well, well, you've sort of just elaborated on what I said.
Yeah.
It was interesting because I'm just someone that just like wants to like, hear about why you're so into working out and maintaining a good healthy body and stuff like that. And I'm just here like I had no idea about this whole what's it called, natty? Is that it?
Natty, yeah.
Oh yeah, I had no idea about it. I just learned about this, so that's a pretty fun fact for me. So yeah, I actually do have a topic around. It does actually tie into both topics. Like we've talked about this. Like we had like a sort of long chat about music and like listening to music while you're running and stuff like that on like Discord a few like a long time like a couple months ago or something like that. So
Yeah.
what we talked about that, but what are your thoughts on it? I'm trying to remember, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the guy was saying was that it's basically cheating because if you're in a fight, you don't have music to motivate you to, you know, tap into your adrenaline and, just really win that fight with the really corny power of music. Um, but like, if you're in a gym, you're training to build muscle necessarily, not to like, I don't know, win a fight unless you're training for WWE or UFC or whatever. In that case, there might be music playing at the stadium, so that's like an invalid point. And it's not cheating. It's definitely not cheating to listen to music while you're running or if you're working out, because even that, I'd like to listen to a particularly emotional music, not like sad or anything, but like something that really gets the goosebumps on your arms and stuff. I like to listen to that type of stuff while I'm working out, and it really just makes you feel like powerful and adrenalized, and that can help you push to go to failure on each rep, set, whatever, and ultimately build more muscle. So I do not think it's cheating. I think it's maybe a bit more of an enhancement, and if you work out with it, there's also a level of, like, without music, there's also a level of respect, because I couldn't do that, and it's a level of respect. And are you crazy? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's definitely not cheating, because it is, like you said, it's like, if it's WWE, the music is in the stadium is obviously going to motivate that person in the moment if they chose that song. So yeah, the point he's making is far and valid,
Yeah.
and and listening to music while you work out, like you said, that emotional music, or that music that gets your muscles pumping and stuff like that, or veins pumping, I should say.
Yeah.
It is good, because I have it is a bit it's a bit it's a bit obvious, but I have actually listened to the Eye of the Tiger while boxing before, and I actually think that some of Eminem's older music is perfect for for boxing, to be honest, because like it has that sort of tone where it makes you want to just like get all of your rage out and stuff like that. So yeah,
Like 8 Mile and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. There's that one song he made with Nate Dogg a long time ago, and it kind of is one of those motivation songs that would get your veins pumping and stuff like that if you're working out.
Mother's Spaghetti.
Um, I can't remember what it's called. I actually can't remember, but it was this. He made a song with Nate Dogg that had a lot of emotional stuff in it. I'm sure I'll find it or remember it,
Yeah,
but
it'll show up in your recommended in like 3 days.
yeah, I've got no idea. So have you got any other topics for this segment, I guess?
Well, I mean, we can make a good segue using hardstyle. Hardstyle is primarily a music genre that was made in the Netherlands, and it's I guess is hard kicks, which makes it hard style, and leads. They've got really good leads, and that's the type of emotional music that I listen to. And some might describe it as the funny loud bangs and booms, but it's really good to work out to that music, because it's just, well, like I said, loud bangs and booms, and it's some sort of primal instinct within, I guess, us, that makes listening to just drums really good. Like, it's not necessarily drums, like if you were to get instrument the instrument drums, but like percussion, like if you were to get 4 on the floor kick beat, duh 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 duh, and just distort that. It's kind of like just really angry music. It's emotional to some extent somehow, and it's very popular, and it's evolved into different kinds of music. And so some people have decided to call these subgenres of hardstyle harder style. There's also something that might tick off a few of the people if they're a hardstyle fan, because that hardstyle is a subgenre of hard dance. But harder styles is stuff like raw style or euphoric hard style, or God knows what else. But it's basically going from that really melodic, or less just a regular amount of melodic music, to something that's either completely barren, and instead of using really beautiful melodies and leads and chords, just screeches, or even more beautiful melodies and chords, and not maybe a few screeches. And so basically, because it's in the Netherlands, it stayed there. It stayed there for quite a while, spread all over the world. But each year, there's a company called Q Dance, and they hold a festival called DEF CON 1. And basically, I need to stop saying basically.
It's
Once a
alright,
year,
sorry.
for like a weekend, they gather around in one place. They had it in Chile, they had it in Australia, and mostly in the Netherlands. They just sit there and listen to loud bangs and booms for 4 days. And it's a very popular one with around 100,000 guests per year.
Ooh, that's a lot. Sorry. Go ahead, sorry, it was just a lot of guests.
Mm.
You know, you said you gotta stop saying basically. I think that's to do with me that I kind of overuse that, but yeah, hardstyle. I've listened to hardstyle before. I think actually that my sister, right, Laura. I've said this for like the fourth time, but yeah, she's actually quite into like, she's actually quite into EDM, which is kind of like, it sort of has like those hard, loud booms and bangs, what we were saying. Sort of has that, but
Yeah.
it's not entirely hard style, I guess. Well, I could be wrong, but yeah, that's sort of what she likes. And yeah, that's sort of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've listened to it before, and you probably got me into it, but yeah, I think actually quite like I guess we could segue it into some hard bass now. I think not to regurgitate, but I'm pretty sure I talked about hard bass a long time ago, and I did a music episode. I talked to a couple friends on one episode about Russian stuff, which was hard
Mm.
bass but turned into something more serious and to some extent. But yeah, Russian hard. But I was into that. I've been into that since late 2020. I think you've been into it since 2015, right? 2016, 2017.
2018, I think.
Ah, okay.
Late 2018, early 2019.
Oh yeah.
Mm. And for a refresher, for the people in the audience, hard bass is a subgenre of pumping house, which was also, fun fact, invented in the Netherlands. Primarily listened to a subdivision of people in Russia, I guess, like kind of like a gangster, but in Russia, and they're called gopniks, and they don't really exist anymore. But if you ever, they do still exist, but they won't be listening to hard bass, mostly like Russian rap and stuff. But hard bass was really popular in the 90s, and it used a donk, which was, well, from Pumping House, and maybe for a few of the UK viewers if they're here, Scouse House. Both of those genres use donk. With it's a bass. It's an FM bass, and it's like a plucky sound. And so one of the most popular hard bass songs that there is Aparthe's Cheeky Breeky hard bass anthem, and I'd say that's a good divider, because there is, despite being one genre of hard bass, right? There's, I guess, more serious hard bass, and you've got the more meme hard bass. No offense to like Yami or an Alan Aztec, but right now it's kind of meme hard bass. And if you went back like into the early 2010s, if you got Hard Bass School and Exist Project, that's more serious. DJ Bledman is somewhere in between the two, because it's based upon the Slavoboo stereotype for the most part.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I can see what you mean, cause like
yeah.
you had like, cause those bands sort of take it more seriously instead of just like, cause they took, I'm pretty sure the reason why Hard Bass School and X-Fest Project do like occasional projects and release them on YouTube and Spotify is because they actually put more time into it. So like because of that, you get artists like Yami and Alan Aztec because because they just make a song that could be 1 hour and 30, oh, not 1 hour, I should say, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Just put it out there. It could be some really basic beat, and people still like it. So yeah, and I talked
Yeah.
about how I think it was the Single Normal Year was a bad song for the message, but the thing was, it was only just because that song it just felt like really lazy, and he just had to get it out there. Like, you can still make very good serious songs. Like, I definitely think that opinion I had was kind of cringe, because you can still have very political songs and still make them really good. It's just that the way he's done it is just felt unnecessary. If you know what I mean?
A lot of the people in the like hard bass community, a lot of my friends have stopped listening to hard bass altogether. Um, Not because they dislike it. They probably say that now, mostly because they got banned from a bunch of servers. But for Yami and Alan Aztec, it's not necessarily that they're like lazy or anything. Um, because I've seen his messages in Discord, and I know he tries really hard. But it seems like he's trying to appeal to that same Slavaboo audience, or to an extent, meme, or go back to the old school days of like October or Kopieka or I don't know, Rush Beat and all that. And he's been trying to replicate that sound for the past 2 years, ever since, was it Bayern Yet? Yeah, ever since Bayern Yet. And a lot of people have started listening, but a lot of the people that I knew that were really passionate about hard bass have stopped listening because it started to sound a bit homogenized, to say. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really like Yami's tracks as much as I used to. If I had to pick something newer from Yami's discography, I would have to say that I really enjoy. Well, when I say really enjoy, take that with a grain of salt, because that's enjoy compared to the newer stuff. I quite like the new song Tara. I think it's something about like rubbish bins or something. Recycling.
Yeah,
And I think that's kind of going back, because going back to like early 2020 when he was making stuff like what's it called,
parking lot.
AKA/7 for you and all that stuff, when he was making stuff like that, and I've been told it's because back in the day he used to be a future based or future house producer or something like that, and he tried fusing the genres to fire, and he did that, and that sounded fantastic. I really like that stuff, and it's still some of my favorite tracks to this day, and I listen to it occasionally. But recently, I just haven't gotten the mood to listen to Yami because I just don't enjoy it, and it most sounds like a, kick and then a donk,
Yeah,
followed and repeated.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you have so many artists that make the same kind of music, and you just like, you've listened to this genre so much, right, to the point where you just predict how this entire track's gonna be because of how much they repeat it, and it's not like very authentic, and it's not very unique, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I can see why you've sort of changed your mind, because the whole game has sort of changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. Same for a lot of the producers, I'm gonna say. A lot of the big hard bass producers have followed the same route of trying to appeal to the algorithm, which is pretty much just everyone, except for maybe like Gobnik McBled, because he still does whatever he wants, and it's good for the most part. And by the most part, I mean there's like one song in the past 3 years that I haven't liked. Everything else is pretty decent, but he's got a pretty small discography. With DJ Bledman, a lot of people I hear have been saying it's mostly like, I don't know, attractive women in videos that's like bringing in views, again, to bring in the algorithm and stuff. And let's say the whole Vodka No Limit album has been sort of that um, formula.
Yeah,
Or Hard Bass School. Hard Bass School has been relatively the same for the past 2 decades. I don't know how long they've been producing for, but for the past while. Although they did make a song this year called Tripolowski Cheeky Breaky Gopnik Anthem, which to some keener listeners have realized that it is not a funny Slav cheeky breaky song, but is instead a cry for help, because they don't really want to make this music anymore to appeal to Slavabus, I think, personally, from what I can tell. They want to make serious stuff again, and not appealing to this subculture that listens to this, and it's not like the original rave scene or something like that. The people that used to appreciate it, it's people that do it for memes.
Yeah, yeah. And you said that whole thing about, wait, what's it called? What's that song called again? The Cheeky Breaky Gopnik Anthem, whatever it was.
Yeah, Tripolowski Cheeky Breaky Gopnik Anthem.
I remember the music video. It sort of had like these references to Squid Game, sort of. I think.
Oh,
Like when I watched it,
yeah.
but yeah, I could tell.
If Soviet Union was Squid Game.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so they probably had that in production for a little while then. So because
it was.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
Like October or something, September or something. I don't know, like somewhere around there. That series.
Yeah, around October. And when was early 2021? It came out about 5 months ago. In January. It came out in January 2022.
Yeah, I think it was January 2022 or February or something. So pretty early on. Yeah. What do you think the Camino song by them's good?
What song?
The Camino song they made.
Oh yeah, Kimono. I like it. I like it because it's got hardstyle in there. It's kind of weirdly formatted, the way the track is, because it goes straight from hardstyle to, I guess, hard bass is a second drop. And usually the way it is that there's hard bass and there's hard style. It gets harder, so to speak. But they did the opposite, and I like the track. It's just really weirdly formulated.
Yeah. I noticed that you actually put it on your hard bass and stuff playlist, because sometimes I still go through that just to see like what kind of music you put on there. So.
If you look more recently, it's as of this month, I'd say it's getting closer to hard styles, harder styles, hardcore. There's a little bit of funk in there.
Oh yeah.
There's like a sprinkle of house, followed by more funk, and there's like 1 or 2 drum and bass songs in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes, my content page is so starved for content, or new songs, I guess, is that when a new song comes out, whether I like it or not, I'm just gonna put it on the playlist because I'll start liking it, and then I find something I like better on TikTok and I put that on the playlist and I never listen to the other song.
Oh yeah, that can happen. You can just like find a song that you like, but like when you find another song that you like more, you just listen to that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like there could be like one song that you really liked, but then there's another song that you liked more than that song. That's happened to a few people. I mean, I actually have I have a playlist as well, but it's not really as active. It used to be like some hard bass. Like I don't think I copied you. I think I was just in like a really hardcore hard bass phase where all I listened to was hard bass, but I still have some tunes that aren't hard bass, but for the most part it became that because of how obsessed I was with it. I'm not as obsessed, but yeah. So I I did actually sort of I think I had Adidas tracksuit as well, stuff like that, which is what got me to actually wear, or stereotypically wear, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, what were you gonna say earlier? Whenever I was about to talk more. Sorry.
Personally, for like hard bass, I've got certain tracks that hold like nostalgia. There's, you know how Spotify does a Wrapped playlist every year?
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got a Wrapped playlist from last year, top 100 songs. Um, of course, because those are the songs I listen to, and I find those memories very fondly. This playlist is, even though I don't listen to everything in this playlist, if I don't know, let's say a UFO and aliens asked me what my favorite playlist of songs was, I'd show them this playlist. It's very decent, very decent. Although I've gotten more into festival hardstyle, or I'm gonna be honest, my music taste has gone all over the place because it went from dubstep in like early 2012 to EDM to rap at some point. I was really into rap. And then I got out of that when when I moved houses and I got into hard bass. Hard bass kind of died down and stopped, having as much content, so I had to find something else to feed my decibel addiction. And so I listened to more hardstyle because it was around that time in December, early 2022. And it branches out because there's a lot of subgenres. You got hardcore. Hardcore has up tempo, early hardcore, regular hardcore, really just anything. And sometimes they're also like shitpost genres, like speedcore or splittercore, or I wouldn't say breakcore is a shitpost genre. It's actually not that bad, but the point is that there is lots of shitpost genres that people have taken seriously into careers, and it's worked for them somehow. But I really like it because of how diverse the scene is.
Interesting. Well, I actually covered my music taste in that like episode like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever. And I guess I'm a different story because I think I started out with like two different rap genres in the 1 year. Then I just like something happened in 2020, right, where I was so sick and tired of just hearing like. As I look back on it, it was kind of cringy, but I used to listen to like emo rappers and also like the old school 90s rap. Like sometimes, occasionally, I listen to it, but I used to be obsessed with that genre and stuff.
Listening to music isn't necessarily cringe, but it's the types of people that like adhere to a certain subgenre. That's why the hard bass is in essence kind of dying, because it's evolved to rely upon the lava brood subculture and stereotypes of gobniks that don't exist anymore, and because it's developed around that, and since there's no one there anymore, people are growing up and realizing, oh, no one was actually ever serious about this, and so they move on to other genres because I guess they stopped having fun, or their friends got out of it. And so necessarily, if you base a genre, an entire genre, around one, I guess, subculture, it isn't going to thrive outside of that subculture.
Yeah.
And eventually it's going to dry up. Like, I wouldn't say, for example, was it crunk rap or something like that? It was really, really popular in the early 2000s. I'm not sure what subculture that had, but that kind of died as well.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say was, looking back, it was cringe because of like, sort of like the way I was about it. Like, I made like a big deal out of it, sort of thing. Like, if I just turned on some random emo rap song, it's not like it's cringe, but just the way I did it, just like, oh my god, gotta tell everyone I'm listening to the song, gotta tell everyone I'm listening to the song, and that kind of thing. And one I was at like the last school I was at. Because I was listening to this rap, like this like 90s rap music. For some reason, something triggered me, or not triggered me, but just made my brain go, oh, I want to try and be like these people in the 90s, which was actually cringe, but as I look back, I think because I moved schools, it actually helped me, because that school was actually riddled with a lot of hoodlums, if I'm being honest, but I'm not going to dive into that, because that's honestly not the point, but yeah, just because it relates to what I'm saying, that's why, so yeah, you can understand why that seems kind of cringe though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like that anymore. Yeah.
When I came to the school that we go to now, I was still very much a Slavabo, and because I still sometimes wear a shanka around, because first of all it's warm, it's stylish, sort of stylish, and I just generally feel very comfortable wearing it because it's nice and soft and fluffy and just a good head. But I apparently, according to a ton of people that talk to me, developed, I guess, a reputation as the Russian kid. And as I grew out of being like a Slavabo and stuff, I still kept that reputation. And my music taste very much still followed that well into the 2021s, or 2021.
2020s, sorry.
And up until now, because I still play music at school, not as much, but I used to do a lot more. And you were there for a lot of it, and you could tell that I played like a lot of hard bass.
Yeah.
While I was doing it.
That was it. That was during like when I was obsessed with it.
Mm.
So
there's a.
Oh. What were you gonna say?
There's a mutual obsession, I guess.
Yeah, it's a mutual connection. I think we used to dance to it in like a circle, and then you told me I was like doing this dance move wrong, and then I just like thought I got used to it. I can't remember. It had something to do with like moving your arms and legs. I can't get my head around it. So, and since you
I can't remember that far, but I remember the dance moves being. I'm pretty sure it's something else. I told you you're doing something else wrong.
Oh yeah.
Because it was mostly just like swaying your legs or hips, sorta.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what it was. No. It wasn't a dance move. It was the story that we had for the Vanguard party.
Oh, okay. I see. I mean, actually, I think I got a Ushanka as well, but I didn't actually buy it. I think it's because, like I wanted one just for the memes, you know, just because I was into Russian hard bass and I seen it in these music videos. I just did it for the memes, and so yeah, I just developed. Like I don't wear it as much anymore, but I definitely. I actually used to make music, and I did this.
Yeah.
I did this series called Mr. Ushanka, and it was just like this like it was in parts, and I did some music, but my music wasn't actually like my music was literally just from an app, and I just put it onto SoundCloud.
What app was it?
I'm trying to remember, but it's like one of those basic music apps you would use to make music. Like you would just have all these beats and stuff, and then you would put it all together. So I tried to use FL. I think I had FL Studio, but I got a terrible version of it. So I don't think I got the right version.
There's definitely a learning curve when it comes to producing, because even nowadays, I like to think that I produce half decent music. But I'm still not exactly an expert at mixing and mastering, and most of my mastering chains consist of throwing a plugin called Sound Goodizer, which is a limiter preset or compression preset, and that just makes what sound good in essence.
Yeah, I mean, you actually do have a YouTube channel as well. You've made like a lot of songs, and there was a point where I think you did a different genre as well sometimes. I could be wrong, but I think you did like it wasn't all just hard bass, but there was a lot of hard bass on it. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, there's still a lot of hard bass. And if I'm gonna be honest, I'm still working on a lot of hard bass, and in fact, I've got an entire album ready. I've had an album ready for the past year, and I haven't released it because, well, number one, I'm kind of lazy, and number two, I don't really know how to mix up, I guess, visualizers. You know, when I mix songs, I put visualizers and cover arts and stuff. I don't really know how to, in my design expertise, as you could say, I haven't developed to making more than a simple color gradient, a solid color with something else. Although I'm making funk, and I'm making a funk EP, and as a little Easter egg, I'm gonna put some ciphers in the description, and it will lead to a video, a surprise video, and it will be in order of what you need to put it in. But here's the hint for anyone listening if they want clues. It's a YouTube link.
Oh, okay. What's a cipher? Sorry, what's a cipher?
Huh?
What's a cipher? Like, what did you mean by that?
Like a cipher, I guess, like a puzzle sort of.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
A very cool puzzle. But if you look far back, Tax Collector, the big collab with GP5.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Biggest song, 3.5 thousand views, which then dwarfs the entire album I did, which to this day some of them only have 3 views.
Wasn't that actually like a Slav King remix?
What? Oh no, it wasn't a Slav King remix. It was. Well, I don't think it was. It was we sampled Boris. We took a sample from a Boris War Thunder video,
okay.
And essentially using that, I guess, and putting it on his subreddit. The stars aligned, and he reviewed his subreddit in the next week, and it went viral.
Oh, nice.
Would, so to speak, viral for, I guess, two people on the internet.
It might have just been me, but it like, if I listen to Slav King and I listen to Tax Collector, it sounds similar, but it's not the same song, just like a remix, because it wasn't called Slav King remix, because obviously it's called Tax Collector. It might have just been the way it was structured or something. I don't know. That's what I thought, like, when I realised that it did sound like that song. But yeah, you probably would be the best to know that, to be honest, since you made it with GP5. So yeah.
Oh, actually, fun fact about the song when we made it. So at the time, GP5 was using LMS, like Linux Music Maker, something. It was a completely free DAW, and I was using FL Studio, and I still do. But because of that, we couldn't really share projects, considering that we both had 2 different DAWs that we both differently specialized in. They sent we sent the audio files over each other via email.
Oh yeah. Was it like Google Drive, or was it just like email without Google Drive? Or?
Email with Google Drive.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have. How long were the files? Like, I'm guessing they were like 2 or 3 minutes, or a minute or 2 or something.
I like to think that I've improved as a producer over the past 2-ish years.
Yeah, to be honest, I think like I feel like sometimes when you don't make lyrical hard bass, it can sound more cool to listen to.
Yeah, because instead of relying entirely on the vocals to bring in an aspect of groove to the track, you have to I guess switch up the beat, and there's more of a, like, if you listen to instrumental songs, they usually bring energy via drops, builds, breakdowns, and all that, rather than just a repeating of very catchy lyrics to the same tune.
Yeah. I guess that's just like that whole idea of quantity over quality, right?
Yeah.
Where you make something just so that it appeals to a certain audience without trying, like we just actually, as we emphasized earlier on in the discussion. So yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, not really.
So yeah.
This was fun to be here. Very nice podcast. I recommend it to everyone listening. Tell your friends about it. Share this with people. Listen to it.
Yeah, I might actually post something on Instagram a bit more again. So yeah, I don't really post that much on Instagram, but yeah, that just about does it for this episode. As you can tell, it actually had more of a structure instead of just rambling about some random topic and trying to make an entire episode out of that. But yeah, I'm hopefully gonna try and start upping the quality, not necessarily doing like funky edits, because if I'm making like long form stuff, it's gonna take a lot of time, and it is a podcast, because like obviously it goes on YouTube, but then it's like Spotify, so like no one's gonna see all these edits, so what's the point of doing that? But yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. See you next week, of course. Check out the second channel, of course. I will put Ethan's channel in the description. I'm pretty sure it's called Pugachev, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you can check that out. Majority of the stuff is hard base, although there is a bit of gaming, a bit of cooking. I think actually you posted a cooking video, so maybe you could plug that in the description, or not in the description, in the comments, or I could do that. But yeah, bye. That was fun.
Bye.
That concludes it.